Okay, I am reading from a book called Heathen Mythology, 1760, and right here it is. And what I do is I collect old vintage books. If I can find some from the 1700s, that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. At the time, I must have paid like what, $100 for this book or something. And it says inside, The New Pantheon, or Fabulous History of the Heathen Gods, by Samuel Boyse. So I left it on my shelf. It fell off, and I stepped on it and ripped the cover off. Sometimes that happens. I know, criminal. But I figured it's still readable, of course. I'll go through and I might read from this book, since not everybody has a book from the 1700s, especially on mythology. But I'd like to read one of the first parts called Chapter 1 of Chaos. And in these old books, what they do is they put F's instead of S's. And so you kind of got to pay attention as you read. So if I kind of seem like I mess up, that's the reason why. Probably. I'm tripping on the words. Chapter 1 of Chaos. Hesiod, the fifth author of the fabulous system of the creation, begins his genealogy of the gods of chaos. Incapable of conceiving how something could be produced from nothing, he asserted the eternity of matter, and imagined to himself a confused mass lying in the womb of nature, which contained the principle of all beings, and which afterwards, rising by degrees into order and harmony, at length produced the universe. Thus the heathen poets endeavored to account for the origin of the world, for which they knew so little, that it is no wonder that they disguised rather than illustrated the subject in their writings. We find Virgil representing chaos as one of the infernal deities, and Ovid as his first setting out in the metamorphosis or transformation of the gods, giving a very poetical picture of that disorderly state in which all the elements lay blended without order or distinction. It is easy to see, under all this confusion and perplexity, the remains of truth. The ancient tradition of the creation, being obscured with a multiplicity of images and allegories, became an inexhaustible fund for fiction to improve upon, and swelled the heathen theology into an unmeasurable compass. So, in this sense, chaos may indeed be properly stilted the father of the gods, though it does not seem easy to give a picture or graphical representation of chaos. A modern painter, one, has been so bold to attempt it. Beyond the clouds, which compose the body of his piece, he has represented an immense abyss of darkness, and in the clouds an odd medley of water, earth, fire, smoke, winds, etc. But he has unluckily thrown the signs of the zodiac into his world, and that's spelled Zodiack, curiously, and thereby spoiled his whole design. Our great Milton, in a noble and masterly manner, has painted the state in which the matter lay before the creation. On heavenly ground they stood, and from the shore they viewed the vast, unmeasurable abyss, outrageous as sea, dark, wasteful, wild, up from the bottom turned by furious winds and surging waves, as mountains to assault heaven's height, and with the center mix the pole. Book V 11.1.215. So I thought that was pretty curious, especially when they mentioned zodiac, Zodiack. It's like, I don't know if they were referring to some kind of book or work, or if, because it was in italics, or was it about, the zodiac itself? Was it a subject matter? And they were explaining maybe how, or they had the attitude that the zodiac should not be mixed in relation to maybe their feelings at the time. with astrology being mixed in with the mythology. I'm not too sure about the 1700s, why they italicized things. I know that periods of time, they did things a little bit differently, especially in writing. So, if anybody knows, please let me know. Another thing is, if anybody knows where I could get some acid-free bags, because I so need some, but I have not a clue. I tried to look and I can't find anywhere to get acid-free bags. So let me know. Thanks.